How are you?
Doing well, my brother. Thank you very much, for being here, for doing this. And man, I appreciate you. And I know that my firm appreciates you a lot as well, brother. So I just want to start by saying thank you today.
Well, it's mutual. I see a collaboration. I would say for me, as you know, personal client plus business client. So I have to say that my wife and my two beneficiaries, my two little daughters, are really happy of the relationship with you and your firm. And business wise as well, we're very happy, which specifically right now that we're in the middle of something, and this experience, it has a lot to do with your contribution, not only in what you do, but what you bring as added value to your services. So
And
thank you to you too.
you're welcome, Val. And one of the things I'm so happy, to say this, like I could start calling you a friend, not just a client. You're one of those guys that you know how it is for me on Fridays, right? Fridays are crazy for me. And I think
And
you and I
then
now speak almost every Friday, you
yes,
know?
I noticed that, but I didn't bring it up because I didn't want to lose the privilege.
But it's fun. And here around the house, and in the business, your name keeps popping up. And I tell my wife, it's like, oh, I have a call with Val. I'm gonna call Val. It's like, Val seems like a cool guy. And I was like, Val has been a cool guy since day one, since I remember seeing that frame right there in the back, investor. I thought that was really cool. The first Zoom meeting that we did, and talking about Formula One, I think that was a major, connection that you and I had, even though we root for different teams, but we love the sport though. And I think that was a real cool thing when you and I met.
Yeah, definitely. And I also like the fact, because it's not the first time that you mentioned the investor, but I put it there, and just since I'm being recorded, I have to say that I'm not a professional investor. I'm not an advisor, but I took it in. Put it there at a time where I started to invest in everything, invest my time, invest in my health, invest in investing is a very important word that has been categorized to only financial gains and stuff, and I think it means way more than that. Our relationship was based on that, was based on
Yeah.
willing to invest in my credit, in the responsibilities, because a lot of people, which thank God that I found that before, but it's almost as if you wouldn't take me as a client if I didn't have that vision that it's not about fixing my credit. It's not about, bumping those numbers in order to 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 get debt or to consume right there and there. It's more about structuring your credit, investing in your credit in order for your credit to invest for you,
I,
So
I love that.
so so I really, so yeah, it's I think it's a conversation starter, kind of a distraction as well, because the Zoom call usually is not for that. And then everybody says, "So you're an investor?" It's like, well, that's why we're here. We're co-creating together, so we're investing our time into something for something bigger.
You just brought something I've never heard before. All the time, like you just said, mine's a program investor, someone that's in, money, buying business, selling business, but it's always been in the business sector, I will say. I've never
Yeah.
heard it in the personal sector, like you just mentioned. And I love it even more now, that word. So now you will even resonate even more in my mind, when I
Yeah.
when I see investor. So that's cool. Thank you very much for bringing that about. Question
No problem.
here: how did you hear about Second Chance Credit?
Well, somebody that is an investor as well, but in that sense, she's a real estate agent. Her name is Sarah Desamour. She's amazing. She counsels me a lot, right? She in funny enough, we have she's done property management for me for my property and other stuff. I have yet to purchase from her, but and a lot of people can resonate to that. The fact that I have not purchased from her never made her distant from me. She always answered my call. She always helps. She always changes the listing that she's sending me. And then at a certain point, I had an issue where I was trying to get my taxes and together to purchase a home, but also I had an issue because whether it was through Instagram or even actually paid people, I always fixed my credit for immediate gratification, but I never fixed my credit profile, right? So it never mirrored exactly who I was in terms of my discipline towards money and my usage of money. So I told her, I said, look, I I need somebody professional, not only for me, but also for my business.
Yeah.
And she said, I met somebody, I've had some referrals from different mortgage brokers. I'm going to introduce you to someone, but he's not a Instagram gimmick. That's what he does. That's what the company does. So I was like, well, perfect. And that's how I ended up contacting you. And the same way you had that investor a poster bring something to you. While we were talking, I realized that you had a lot of sport memorabilia,
Yeah.
which means that you have a certain discipline. You have something that you look for. And without knowing what it was, I was just saying, okay, he's the man. How you were talking, it was very direct. It was very about coaching, right?
Yes.
So you may know what you're doing, or you may intend to do something, but you need a coach. And the whole point is that I had the intention of creating my profile, and I found the right coach to take me there.
Thank you, Val. And I remember speaking to you first via LinkedIn. We spoke a bit there, and then we put our calendars together, and we said, okay, let's do a Zoom. And you interviewed me, I interviewed you, and then I said, let me see if we're gonna be a right fit for each other. And I always try to do that as much as possible. Be the right fit so that I can help you out to the greatest possible way, because I want to help you achieve your immediate goals, but also whatever goals pops in. And I think you challenged me on that, because we started with one goal, and then we moved to another goal, and then we moved to another goal. And for me,
Then we
it's so
then we changed the goals.
and for me,
Yeah.
it's so exciting. You keep me upbeat, and I learn so much, and I bring that knowledge that I get from you, from representing you and your companies. I bring it to other clients as well. So it's such a wealth of knowledge of this relationship, this business relationship, but also a friendship relationship that we are building together. So thank you very much for believing and bringing us on, Val. Appreciate that.
Yes. Yeah, it's a and yeah, yeah, I like friendships that have differences, and those differences does not impede the magic of the friendship, with your love for Ferrari and stuff like that, and my for Mercedes Benz.
Jesus
I,
Christ.
I do respect it, but it doesn't change the friendship, and I applaud you for that.
Hey, my prediction came true though. Half of the season, I told you that George Russell was going to be better than Lewis. You
Uh,
were agreeing against me. You were going against me, but I
I'll
told you.
st- I'll stick to the beauty that you do to my credit profile.
I love you, brother. I love you. So why did you believe we were the best choice for you?
For the sake of content, I will not just say gut feeling, but the fact that you had a structure,
Okay.
right? So basically, I had to sign disclaimers.
Yes.
I had to keep a regimen, right? So it's like you're not promising anything without the me assuring that I will follow through, and I will do what I'm instructed to do, right? Or not even not do, but do it the way that I'm instructed to do, because a lot of things I was doing it already, but I was not doing it at the right time or properly. So the moment that I see structure, um, it takes a lot of discipline to build structure, and structure bring results, but structured results as well. So sustainable and longevity, which what I was looking for.
I'm gonna write that down right now. I'm gonna take something because discipline brings
I should
structures.
I
I'm writing this thing down. Put it that way.
I think I should start charging you. You do that too
Oh,
often.
for sure. And I think this is why those Fridays are working out for us. So I, that is so, I run on structure because there's only 24 hours in the day. So for me is everything is itemized, everything is, on time, and I have to work it backwards. I gotta see the goal, I gotta see the vision and said, okay, that's what we're going for, right? That's our macro goal. Now, if we have the macro, how we're gonna have those micro little success to get to that macro goal. And that's how I've, structured my business life and my personal life. And it has, thankfully God right now, age of 42 has worked out quite a bit.
Yeah,
Val,
congrats.
quick success story. So how have we contributed to your personal credit growth as part of your team? How would we contribute? How has Second Chance Credit contributed to your team? To your
Well, I don't know what those people do on Instagram and stuff like that, but it's been 3 months, and I do utilize my credit cards, as you know.
Yep, yep,
Which I didn't get to introduce myself. My main thing is logistics. I own foreign company. My main company is foreign, is in Haiti. I have a branch in Dominican Republic and one here. So 100% of my income is just to live for my family and I comes from abroad. So there's discrepancies and irregularities in my income, which sometimes pushes me to utilize my credit cards further than 30%, and even sometimes overextend.
yep.
So I've been in the 800 club for 2 months. Um, and even in two bureaus, and the one bureau that fluctuates the most, I've well, through you guys, that gap of that variation it's became more narrow, and I would say my bottom is 720, and the 800 club is my top, but for one
Yep.
bureau. Um, what they call, I don't want to use the beautiful word like American dream and stuff like that, but the goal of being able to contribute 10% towards a financial objective, I was able to do it. I'm in the middle of a transaction it's a seven-figure transaction, and I only had to put six figures. It's The transaction would have been done already if they didn't have to follow process, because the moment that they pull my credit, the moment that through your organization, through your network of CPAs, legal, and all that stuff, the way that my profile is readily available for anybody shows the transparency of it. Um, they would have approved me already. So in I don't know if I should use that, because I hate using consumer debt as an example.
Yeah.
I like to use growth, but I was able to walk into a dealership and get a car for my wife just by my signature. That's
Yep.
that's again something that a lot of people want. And the success stories is just like the continued progress. There's a lot of things that have not been that are not concrete yet, but I know that my multifamily intent of building a real estate portfolio, it's there, right? So now
Coming.
I'm no longer thinking about, oh, can I afford it or will I be approved? Now I'm more in the details of it, right? Now I'm more picky because I know that I can get it. And other stuff that are just continuous progress that we're no longer, oh, I have to do it now because I have a contact now that tells me he can get me approved. No, I know I'll get approved. I know I'll get it. So now let me just get it properly. Let me do it well, because I have
Right,
that
right.
I have that confidence of my credit and financial profile, right? My identity in the system, and I have a network. I have a network through you, right? So it's like right now, it's I talk to people and they take it very serious when they ask me to do something or to sign something, and I say I have to run it by my credit consultant. They're like, "Why do you have a credit consultant?" Because that is a system that obviously not everyone is well aware of on how it works and how to use it. So I have one, and he happens to be good to me, obviously.
Thank you, Val, for that. And one of the things, and for the multiple referrals, right, that I've sent you to, the CPA, your business attorney, everyone I send you to, I tell them one thing, and you and I had that conversation last week. Val is disciplined, Val achieves, Val is the dream client. You and I had a personal conversation about that. But it's also such an honor uh, for me, through the years of business, that we have been in 21 years, to have such great outreach, great professionals around me that I can say, you know what, they're going to be helpful to you. So, the more and more you and I speak, and when we talk a lot, I get to listen to your dreams, to your wants. And if I have someone in my network, I actually had two other people that I want to introduce you to, because always I'm thinking
Interesting.
about you. I'm always thinking about you or your business, because you keep me, upbeat and fresh. And I'm saying, this is big. Your network is your net worth. So the better your net worth is, the stronger your net worth will be. And we get to do that for you. And thank you again for that, Val. So with that being
I think
said,
mutual.
thank you. With that being said, any other impacts that we had with your finances um, through Second Chance Credit? Anything else that you want to share to the audience about?
Result driven process, it's so I guess it's probably something that I should have answered when you asked me. I think a question was either about my choice or something
Yeah.
about related to you. I think that should be up there in the questions of the initiation. It's like um it's result based. It's you see it, and and the second part of the result is the persistence or the continuity of it, right? Because we all know, whether you from a client is telling you or whoever is listening have had that experience where they either paid or listened to somebody to fix their credit, and they showed up, and but it doesn't last. The next statement period, they're most likely worse than they were when they had started. And that was actually a fear that I had as well. It went up so fast. It's like, actually, you got me into the 800 club, which you never promised me that,
No.
but you got me into the 800 club in less than a year. It's
Yep.
been probably 10 months since we've been, no, not even 9 months since we've been in contract. As a matter of fact, no, 8 months. Actually, yeah, it's been 8 months since we've been in contract, and you didn't promise that. So every time that it kept on going up, it's every time that I was like, "Whoa, I'm gonna fall." You knew I was in the 800 club, but we didn't mention that until the second month, because I was like, ah, so something in the reporting didn't go
There's a
through,
glitch.
and it's a well, not a glitch, but something did not go through in terms of the different dates. Because at the time that you've got me so many credit cards, each credit card have different statement date and different
Yep.
closing dates. So I was like, the statements fell, the reporting fell in between statements, so they don't know everything. So yeah, it's gonna go down. So I didn't even tell nobody. Nobody knew but you knew, but only Experian and I knew that I was in the 800 club, and I didn't want to share it or celebrate. until the second month. Not only I was in the 800 club, but I was 8 points higher than the
For the
first
last
month.
month. Yep.
Yeah, and that's in the 800 club. Once you're there, you're more in a structured place. So if you go down, you don't go down past 800, right? Unless you, of course, blow up your credit, like they say. But yeah, so it's just it's all result driven, right? And what happens is that the more results is the more I furthermore listen, not to say count on you, and execute based on what you say, and I get more results. So
Yeah.
the more result you get is the more you become stubborn in other stuff, but in this you say, hey, I'll stay.
Stay.
I'll stay obedient to what Chris and Second Chance Credit has it
Well,
tells me to do.
that's why it's a big difference, with Second Chance Credit. We're not a credit repair firm. We don't do that. We are a credit advising firm. So yes, if our clients have a little hiccup here and there with their credit that we need to fix, perfect, we'll fix it. But our expertise is doing that, bringing the credit score, understanding the pros of your credit file, the negatives or the void or what's missing, and inputting that, right? Adding those pieces and taking you to the next level. And then that's when an entrepreneur, an investor like yourself in business or for yourself, now you can see, wow, because you did have the tools, you had the discipline, you had everything. You just needed to be like Lewis Hamilton, right? You needed to get the proper coach, the proper team behind you so you could win all these championships. And we're so honored, we're so humble, and we're so thankful, Val, for you,
You forgot
your
the
business.
proper vehicle.
Come on, I can't see that. Remember, I'm Ferrari, you can't say that. We'll leave that for another time, but Val, appreciate you, my brother. Love you a
I,
lot, man. Thank you for your time.
I
Always.
appreciate you. Love you too.
Be good, brother. Don't hang up.
Bye.